podcast ranked 139th in Estonia, the Let's Not Do This podcast. Sit alongside one of the unwise men. You got the big O, Leon Oliver. Sitting across from me, one Scotti Too Hottie. How are you, sir?
Not too bad, not too bad. I got my ass kicked gambling Sunday. I did good in the podcast picks somehow. So
it makes me happy to know that you're losing your money.
Yeah,
Okay.
Everybody hits some rough spots, even the best.
Hey, you win a lot, so when you give it back, it makes me happy. You know, and eventually you'll go the Costanza route, and the hair and everything else will go, and it'll make me quite happy.
I was gonna buy you a beer tonight.
Oh, well, damn! I take it all back. All right, it's a very intimate affair this evening, as we have two of us here. Our friend Ryan is on assignment, and Chris continues his trek through the wilderness, much like Moses and his people. That is not a relation to current events. That's a horrible reference, as I just thought about that. But what are you going to do? Chris is lost in the wilderness. His suspension continues, and hopefully, he'll find a burning bush or something like that along the way. I think he'll really just find himself to the bottom of a bottle of really cheap rum.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
he loves that Castillo.
Jesus Christ, do we still have that bottle around here? I don't know where it is. I'm sure somebody used it.
Probably got thrown out when the fridge got moved.
Oh yeah, probably.
We don't have the fridge up here anymore.
Yeah, if you would like to donate a fridge to the show, the Let's Not Do This Studios is in need of one. So you can reach out to us. We prefer, a full size fridge, but we'll take a beer or wine fridge.
$100 minimum.
Yes, $100 minimum on that fridge. I prefer what's the Samsung ones with the touch screen door?
Oh, geez.
Yeah, or is it LG?
I don't know.
I don't know
Probably
what
Samsung.
it is.
I think it's Samsung.
Yeah, you know where you can tap it and see inside and stuff, which has got to be cool if you have money. But if you're poor, why would you have this fridge if you're poor? But if you're poor, let's say you're on hard times, you tap that fridge and you can look inside and just see a stale thing of cheese and some El Paso taco sauce from 3 years ago.
Spoiled milk.
Yeah, spoiled milk. Why is there always spoiled milk? In every movie when somebody's fridge is messed up or they're poor, there's always spoiled milk.
Because usually it's a single guy, right?
Yeah.
I have spoiled milk in my fridge right now.
Really?
Yeah.
How much milk do you go through?
Not a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So
a half gallon, I need to just get the little 8 ounce or whatever.
Cartons or something like that?
Yeah.
That's what we should do.
I either drink the half gallon in 2 days or it sits in there for a month. There's no in between.
I'm that way with oat milk. I am lactose intolerant, so the regular milk does not agree with me. So I will either crush that stuff or it'll sit in there for forever. Now, luckily, the plant-based milks and stuff, they last for forever. Yeah. So, I've opened the fridge and I'm didn't I buy this 2 months ago? Oh, shit, it's still good, But
didn't take you for an oat milk guy.
Oh, dude, I love it. I'm very bougie in that way, as I drink your Stella Artois here, Also, we're looking for a beer sponsor on this podcast, too. You may have seen, and I've had someone reach out to me that they've seen us drink, Michelob Ultra. We've drank Modelo. I believe we've had Coors Light on here. We've had Stella all the time.
Sam Adams Oktoberfest last week.
Yeah, Sam Adams Oktoberfest. So we've run the gamut.
PBR
has been on here. We've run the gamut of macro brews. So if you're a local brewery and you would like to send us something, we would very much so like to drink that beer. And, we will give you absolutely nothing back in return. Just some free publicity to 97 people in Estonia.
A shout out, yeah.
There we go. And eventually I'll empty out my wallet there because that's what I do on beer. But what are you going to do? Well, speaking of empty out wallets, so you and I both took it kind of on the chin this weekend gambling-wise. Kind of a down week for you uncharacteristically. Me, more so all the time. And so let's go back and look at our picks from this past week. Do you have Ryan's? What he did?
Yeah. So I actually did pretty good on the podcast picks. It was everything else.
Okay.
Well, Saturday I won some money. Sunday I just got beat up pretty good.
So on the podcast, let's start with the college football there. What'd you do Saturday? You went what?
I went 2-1 in both. So I went 2-1 in college. I hit the because I got the Washington at -2.5, and then Pittsburgh +8. And then my one loss was Auburn +11.5.
Ooh, Auburn against
LSU.
LSU.
Yeah, I can't get LSU right.
Yeah, no, they are.
If I bet on them, they don't show up.
You just can't figure that team out. They're kind of like the Pittsburgh Steelers of college football. Like, you just don't know what you're getting, like, week to week. Hey, by the way, that Oregon-Washington game, what a game. Was it 36-33? That was the game of the weekend.
Yep.
And, of course, Pitt, Pat Narduzzi's boys laid the trap. Did you see that story where they put their negative thoughts in the vase?
No.
They put a vase. It looked like they went to, like, Home Goods and bought, like, a blue vase and put, like, a really cheap Pitt logo on it. And they had it sitting on, like, the thinnest mantle in the middle of, like, their football facility. And before you walked into the meeting rooms, if you had any negative thoughts, you had to put them in that vase.
Okay.
And apparently this worked because they upset Louisville. What negative thoughts would you drop in there? My guy,
it'd probably all be all about you. So, yeah.
My guy, why am I at Pitt wearing this garish blue and yellow?
I wish I had a different co-host.
Yeah. Well, you're not getting Theo Vaughn walking to that door anytime soon.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I don't think
Theo, if you're listening.
Yeah, Tony Hinchcliffe. You know what I mean? Like he ain't walking through. So
I gotta watch the new Kill Tony. I'm glad you said something.
You know, I was listening to
Sean O'Malley's on it on the new
really?
episode. Yeah.
I was listening to Brian Redband?
He's the one that.
He's the other guy.
He's the one there, but he does like all the. I guess he produces it.
I was listening to him with Rogan. It was from like maybe earlier this week or last week, or whatever, and he was saying that they can't put the name Kill Tony on YouTube anymore in the podcast description. The algorithm does not like the word kill.
Because that's stupid.
Well, luckily, we just kill our numbers by just talking, so we don't have to worry about that. Right. So we got that going for us. Well, what did the old man Ryan do over the weekend, college-wise?
In college, Ryan went 0-1-1. So he had to push because he got the Oregon +3. He lost the. I'm sorry, I say 0-1-1.
Yeah, you said 0-1-1. I think he went 1-1-1. Yeah,
all ones. Let me change that.
So he had Oregon, which, by the way, I watched that game with him. I saw the end of it, and I missed the field goal that would have tied the game. I had to piss like a racehorse, and I missed time to time out. So literally, I'm in the restroom, and I could hear like the bar erupting. I'm like, well, this can go one of two ways. And I walked out, and I saw we were not going to overtime. So
were you drinking Michelob Ultra?
No, they had a special on Coors Light that day.
Oh, okay.
$10 pitchers, baby.
Okay. Well, yeah, he had the under in the Cal-Utah game. Under 45.5. I think that ended up hitting 48 points. And then he did hit the over USC Notre Dame.
All right. And then I went in college, very disappointing 1-2. Sam Houston State sucks. I had them on, what was it, Wednesday night, I think it was? Yeah. It was either Wednesday or Thursday to get their first win against New Mexico State. I had them +3. I think they lost by like 13 or 14. Oregon and Washington, of course, I had under 67 points, ended up being 69 points in that game. And Wyoming continues to save me. I took the Pokes plus the 10.5 at Air Force. Wyoming did not win that game. They lost by 7, but they covered the 10.5. NFL, though, I had a better week. Yeah. NFL, I went 3-0. I had Kansas City minus the 10.5 over Denver on Thursday night in a very ugly game. I had Miami covering the 13.5 against Carolina despite the slow start, digging themselves a 14-0 hole. And the Dallas Cowboys yesterday, 20-17, covering the 2 points over the LA Chargers on Monday Night Football.
AKA the Cowboys of the West.
Pretty much.
They are the same teams.
Except insane. Dallas has fans. I mean, did you see that game? You saw, what was it, like 70-30 Cowboy fans?
That's how most of their games are, though, especially if they're playing anybody worth a note. Anybody with a fan base.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, especially Dallas, given their...
The Rams got all their fans because they won the Super Bowl that first year. So any fans in LA are probably Rams fans or still, like, Raiders fans or something.
It doesn't help, like, with Dallas and their notoriety, and they haven't really been relevant for 30 years or whatever, but, in the 90s, it seems like every millennial is a Cowboy fan. And then they had training camp in Oxnard, which is a hop, skip, and a jump from there. So, yeah, they just take that place over. But what'd you do in the NFL?
NFL went 2-1. Let's see. I had the Patriots Raiders under 41.5. Thank you, Mac Jones. I had my Commanders +2.5. They won outright. And my loss was Tampa Bay +3.
They looked awful.
Yeah, I'm late, but I'm now officially on the Lions bandwagon.
The brand new Lions, as Pat McAfee likes to say.
That was impressive.
They're good, man. That defense is solid too. Yeah. They literally take on the mannerisms of their head coach. Like they're just scrapping and fighting and just that's not a team you want to run into in the postseason.
They're beating the teams they're supposed to beat too, which is the most impressive thing. I don't know if I can say I think they have a shot at going to the Super Bowl, but I mean, who knows?
Did you see the AI rendering that someone did if the Lions won the Super Bowl? It was like abject chaos. I don't know why they were all in like Lake Michigan. I guess because they figured Detroit's so polluted they had to go somewhere. Who knows? But there was like fires being set, and I imagine RoboCop would come true to life if the Lions won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean it didn't look too far off.
Yeah, we're on the precipice of World War III. The Lions win the Super Bowl. You might as well just go ahead and go into those old bomb shelters from like the Soviet days, duck and cover.
The end times are coming if that happens.
Yeah, the end is near.
Yeah.
And what did the old man have in NFL?
He went 2-1 in NFL, so we all finished over 500 total. But let's see.
Yeah. 2-1? Gale Sayers scoring a touchdown or something?
His one loss was the over in last night's game, the Monday night game, Cowboys-Chargers. He had the over in that. But he had the Raiders -3 and the Ravens -4.
Okay.
They both hit.
Nice. Okay. Well, we'll start off with our picks this week. We don't have Ryan's, unfortunately, with him being out on assignment, so it'll just be the two of us. So this is a head-to-head contest, Scotty.
Yeah.
So would you like to put up your house for this bet this week?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay, your house against. I will give you. I have a signed baseball from one Billy Wagner.
Can you roll it through my legs?
Yes. No, not Bill Buckner.
Oh shit.
Billy Wagner.
Who was that?
He was a closer for like the Astros and the Mets.
Oh, okay. I think I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he actually he was. I forget what hand he was. I think it was a righty. Whatever it was, he broke the opposite arm as a kid and taught himself to throw with the other arm. And he was hitting like 100 or whatever. But yeah, I got that at like a charity auction with my wife, who was my girlfriend, and got it at a charity auction like 20 years ago. So I will put up my Billy Wagner ball against your house. That's not
exactly fair, but I'll take it.
Well, on an aggregate, we'll figure it out.
If we tie, I win. How about that?
There we go. Right. Tie goes to the runner. All right, so I'll start. Let's go with the college game this week. Big game, of course, was the Big Ten big noon kickoff,
sure.
And I think
Fox.
College Game Day both are there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, number 7, Penn State at number 3, Ohio State. Both teams 6-0, both teams 3-0 in the Big Ten noon on Fox on Saturday. The line is Ohio State -4, and over under is 47 points there. Ohio State has got injuries out the wazoo. Emeka Ibuka, he missed the Purdue game. They thought they were getting Travion Henderson back last week at Purdue, but he had a setback, couldn't go. The number 2 tailback, Mayan Williams, was ruled out in the pregame. Number 3 tailback, Chip, I don't want to say it's Tradium or whatever, he left the game with a concussion. So they had to turn to the number 4 back, Dallin Hayden. They also were without Denzel Burke, the number 1 corner. He left the game early on Saturday. His status is still up in the air. So Penn State, number 1 total defense in the country. Drew Aller playing great quarterback. 65% right now of his passes completed, 12 tuds, no picks. Most of them have been underneath, though. He's going to have to stretch the field if Penn State wants to win this. I think Ohio State's just too nicked up right now, and I don't think that environment is going to intimidate Penn State. They play big-time football and big-time games. So I like the Nittany Lions plus the 4 points in the horseshoe there.
You got it at 4?
Yeah, I got it at 4 earlier today on Caesars.
I got it at 4.5 earlier. Let's see what the line is at now.
Yeah, all of my picks I got like this morning off of Caesars.
Yeah, I got mine this morning too.
All right, there you go.
Off of different books.
You tend to shop yours more than I do.
Yeah, still 4.5 on.
Oh, well, I will.
FanDuel.
I will take if you're giving me the half a point, I'll take the 4.5.
All right.
So the boys from Happy Valley plus the 4.5 in Columbus.
So you see where I'm going already.
I see where you're going.
Not good.
We'll wait there. So coming up after that, I'm staying in the Big Ten. NBC 3:30. The Golden Gophers of Minnesota 3-3, 1-2 in the Big Ten at number 24 Iowa. Hawkeyes 6-1, 3-1 in the Big Ten. Iowa is a 3.5-point favorite. Over under here is 32.5 points.
Yeah.
Do you know the name of this rivalry game?
No.
It's the
I'm
battle.
Sure it's goofy though.
It's the battle for the Floyd of Rosedale. I got
Yeah.
a couple little background points here. 117th meeting between these two teams. They're playing for the Floyd of Rosedale, which is a bronzed pig that was introduced in 1935. This came about because Iowa star running back Ozzie Simmons, who was African American, was roughed up in the Gophers' 48-12 win in 1934 against the Hawkeyes. Now, of course, if you remember, Minnesota's had some interesting racial history back in the day with African American running backs. Remember what was it from? Was it Jack Trice from Iowa State? They killed him essentially, and in the football game, they kept stepping on him and stuff like that. That's why Iowa State wore those throwback uniforms the other week to honor Jack Trice.
Okay.
Yeah, so Minnesota,
That might be racist.
let's not do that. So he was roughed up. The next year in Iowa City, Hawkeye fans threatened the Golden Gophers coach Bernie Bierman, and Minnesota threatened to break off athletic relations with Iowa. So as a goodwill gesture, Minnesota Governor Floyd Olson got a blue ribbon pig from Rosedale Farm near Fort Dodge, Iowa. This pig was the brother of Blue Boy, who was in the Will Rogers movie State Fair. Now, Ryan, of course, was a young buck back then, so I'm sure he saw that.
He was an extra.
So this pig had some good bloodlines.
Okay. Sure.
He was a good pig. The word of the bet spread, and Ozzie Simmons played an injury-free game and was complimented by several of the Gopher players. Minnesota won that 35 game 13-6, which very well could be the score this year. And Iowa Governor Clyde Herring brought the pig to Governor Olson's office in Minnesota, his freshly carpeted office. So you think this ends the saga of Floyd. It does not. There was a social justice warrior named Virgil Case. He tried to get a criminal warrant in Des Moines against Governor Herring for violating Iowa's gambling laws. An assistant Iowa attorney general convinced a judge to dismiss the case on jurisdictional grounds because the bet had been made in Minnesota and Iowa City, which was beyond the local court's jurisdiction. So Governor Olson offered up Floyd, the pig, in an essay contest, which a 14-year-old boy won. Now, apparently, I don't know why he didn't take this pig, but it ended up at another family farm, to which the owner's father was shocked to see that the pig wasn't vaccinated.
Uh-oh.
And Floyd died 8 months after this whole fiasco from cholera.
Damn, it sounds like a story nowadays.
Pretty much.
But with people.
I didn't know the pigs could get cholera.
I didn't know either.
What human diseases are they susceptible to?
So they definitely get COVID, right?
Yeah, probably. Can they get AIDS? Is there such thing as pig AIDS?
Maybe.
If I bet the Rosedale Farm probably has them. Then
Probably born with it.
he maybe it's Maybelline. He dies of cholera. So Governor Olson realized, well, we can't keep playing for a live pig that's dead. So he commissions a sculptor in St. Paul to capture Floyd's image. Ever since then, they've played for the 98-pound Floyd of Rosedale trophy.
Yeah, it's about as silly as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, the Big Ten has a lot of rivalry games, and this is one of the bigger trophies there. And a lot of those Big Ten rivalry things have trophies involved. So if you see a bronze pig being hoisted by one team this weekend, you know what happened there. But so Iowa City, 3:30. Iowa, by the way, their defense hasn't allowed 400 total yards in the last 21 games.
Nice.
They've only given up one rushing touchdown on the season. And they have a 26-year-old punter named Tory Taylor. Weapon. 45 punts on the year, one touchback, fourth in the country, averaging 48.3 yards. He's got 17 points, 17 punts inside the 20.
Sounds like an adult film star name.
Tory Taylor?
Yeah.
It really does. Tory Taylor in Aussie Ass. Aussie Ass 7. The Return of Crocodile Dundee. All that being said, this is like the third, I think was the third lowest over-under in like modern history. And then all the other three involve Iowa. All the other two involve Iowa. So, I'm going to Hawkeyes. I'm going to Hawkeyes to win this game, but I'm also taking the under 32.5.
All right, so Iowa money line parlayed with under 32.5.
You got it.
All right.
This game has like 12-6 written all over it. And Iowa just lost their starting tight end for the year too. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got 12-6 written all over. Get ready for some Big Ten football. And I'm staying in the Big Ten for my last game.
So all three.
Yeah, I'm Big Ten out this week. Michigan at Michigan State, battle for the Paul Bunyan Trophy. 7-0 Wolverines, 4-0 in the Big Ten. Michigan State 2-4, 0-3 in the Big Ten. 7:30 NBC. Wolverines favored by 24. Over under here is 48. Listen, I don't got a lot for you on this one. Take Michigan minus the 24. In my opinion, they're the best team in the country. They've won their last 3 games by a combined total of 50-8. And remember that little fracas last year in the tunnel in East Lansing?
Yeah.
I don't think they forgot that. And I think Michigan's going to settle it on the field in Spartan Stadium there. It's going to get ugly. It's going to get out of control early. Big brother going to make little brother pay. Wolverine's big. I'm taking Michigan minus the 24.
Okay. Not worried about the backdoor cover?
No worries at all. Okay. I think Harbaugh is going to exact some vengeance for what happened to those guys. I mean, Michigan won a game last year, but for what happened in that tunnel, remember that scene and remember the Titans? It's like, run it up, Herman. Leave no doubt.
Yeah.
That's going to be Michigan, but it's going to be like in the second quarter on Saturday.
I can see that.
Yeah. All right, so what's on your docket?
I'm going to start with our game of the week, the Penn State-Ohio State. I'm also going to go Penn State plus the 4.5. I'm a little concerned that I feel like everybody's going to be on this, but looks like the line has moved everywhere except for FanDuel down to 4. Ooh. So it looks like that's probably where I could see it moving down to even like 3.5. But, I mean, Penn State hasn't had the hardest schedule so far, but they got that number 1 pass defense. You mentioned that basically Ohio State's their entire running back crew is hurt, so they're not going to be able to rely on the run either probably. So, Penn State can kind of, I won't say stop the passing game, but they'll be able to limit them, I think. And Ohio State looked better last week against Purdue. I mean, it's Purdue. And I think this Penn State, this is their year. I think they're going to win outright, but I wouldn't bet that. I'm going to bet the plus 4.5 here. I don't think Ohio State's 5 points better than them. No way.
Scotty, do you think Penn State can get to the playoff? I feel like no one's talking about them, and they're sitting there, and you look at that schedule, they get past this.
I was actually listening to the little, was it Sports Grid, where that gambling station is?
Yeah.
Sirius. They were talking about that on the way over here. Because I forget where they are now. They're at like plus 1,300 to either win it all or make the playoff. And they were like, oh, what if they beat Penn State? It would be like plus 5, they said. I'm thinking probably like plus 7, but plus 700. But yeah, I mean, if they beat Ohio State, then what do they have left? They got to play Michigan at some point.
I'm pulling up their schedule now. So at Ohio State, hosting Indiana, at Maryland, which Terps are feisty this year. Then you got Michigan, but it's at home. And that's on Veterans Day, November 11th. Now, luckily for Michigan, that's not a night game, so it won't be the whiteout and all that stuff, but that's noon. Then home against Rutgers, and then at Michigan State.
So, yeah, I mean, even if they lose one, they probably got a shot to get in the title game.
Yeah, you could win the Big Ten East. You could find yourself, you win that Big Ten championship game. You tell me they go 11-1 and they're Big Ten champions in the championship game. They're definitely in.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely got a shot.
Yeah, everything is right there in front of them. Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, it's all there for you in the East. And I think Iowa is probably just going to, by default, run away with the West.
Yeah,
but,
probably.
Yeah. We'll see what happens there. All right, next up for you.
All right, so I'm going to go Clemson minus 3.5 at Miami.
Ooh.
I'm still hating on Miami for the debacle from 2 weeks ago. Just kneel the ball. But and I do think that has something to do with this. I think that totally changed like the whole outlook of their season. They lost last week to UNC. I kind of feel like maybe the wheels are going to fall off now. That defense for Clemson is just going to be too good for that Miami offense. Playing at Miami doesn't really mean anything. They don't really have a great like home field advantage. And I think Clemson, that defense is going to shut them down. And I would definitely take the 3.5 points for Clemson.
Dabo Swinney apparently got on the Clemson fans. I didn't fully see the comments, but I saw some headlines out of South Carolina about taking some shots about them being fair weather Clemson fans and everything. And if that kind of fan turnout and support that they're getting is fair weather, there's a lot of teams in the country that'll sign up for that right now.
Yeah, well, maybe that will bring some more fans down to Miami.
We'll see, and they'll spend their $2 bills because that's their calling
Oh,
card.
jeez. Yeah.
Dumbass hillbillies in Clemson. I said it.
All right, last pick here. I'm gonna go. I hate betting on this team because I don't like them, but I'm gonna go Alabama -8.5 at home against Tennessee. Tennessee's only had one away game this year, and they got their ass kicked by Florida. So this is a different animal going to Alabama. Bama played a close game with Arkansas last week, but they have was it Milroe?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been looking better. And I just think that with Tennessee being on the road, Alabama's going to be too physical for them. They're going to be pissed off from last year. I'm sure Nick Saban will be playing that revenge factor when Tennessee beat them last year on that last second field goal. I just see Bama coming in and winning by double digits at home.
You know what they call this rivalry game?
No, what is it? Wait, what bronze statue of what animal?
No, it's the third Saturday in October.
Oh, is that when they always play?
Yeah, it's always the third Saturday in October, and the winner smokes cigars. It goes back to it's like an Alabama trainer back in the day who promised that if they beat Tennessee, and I think he was a Tennessee grad, that he would, I kid you not, he would dance naked in the locker room. Now, this is like the 50s or 60s.
I was about to say it didn't sound as redneck as I thought until you said that part.
And this was like the 50s or 60s, but he danced like naked in the locker room, and apparently they smoked cigars. And, it's a whole thing. Smoke them if you got them. So I'm sure if Bama gets to win in the late minutes, if they're up comfortably, you'll see a little haze ring around Bryant-Denny Stadium, and even the fans will be sneaking those in there to light up those cigars.
Hopefully Saban will keep his clothes on.
No, that's not good for anybody. All right, National Football League. I went 3-0 last week. I'm sure it's all going to come crashing down for me this week. I'll start off. I got Buffalo 4-2 at New England, who's 1-5. 1 o'clock game on CBS. Buffalo's favored by 8.5. Over under is 41. The Patriots are terrible, and I think at this point it almost feels like it almost does it feel like Bill Belichick's trying to get fired?
I said it before the season started that it looks like he checked out to me.
Yeah,
I've been saying that. The only game he cares about now is the Jets.
Yeah, lights are on. No one's home. They have no idea what they're doing offensively. The defense has been bad. Mac Jones is just a turnover machine. They don't trust him. I mean, it's a disaster. They look like the Patriots that we grew up with in like the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s when they were terrible, That's what they look like right now.
Yeah, he's roster churning as backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, Malik Cunningham.
He cut all of them and then signed some back, and then he's activating different ones. And yeah, I think he doesn't care.
It's a man just searching for answers. It's almost like when you watch a mafia movie, and you can kind of feel like the walls are closing in on them. It's like Scarface. Tony Montana's had all the fun, and now Sosa's sitting his hit squad up there, and the walls are closing in. That's what's happened to Bill Belichick right now.
Yeah,
and the end is not pretty, just like it wasn't for Tony Montana.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, look that one up, kids, if you haven't seen Scarface.
Yeah, kids.
It's a great movie. Don't do drugs. Yeah. Patriots are tied with the Browns for the worst turnover margin in the league at -8. That ain't good when you're facing the Buffalo defense with 13 takeaways, which is second in the NFL. Mac Jones has got to be on a short leash, right? 7 picks, 1 fumble this year.
I thought his leash would have been up last week.
Yeah. But Malik Cunningham came in. They had some run plays for him. He didn't throw a pass. Maybe he gets in to throw a pass this week. It ain't going to be pretty. I'm taking Buffalo minus the 8.5. Next up for me, Pittsburgh at Los Angeles. Steelers 3-2. Excuse me, at the LA Rams. Rams 3-3. Steelers coming off the bye. This game is 4:15 on Fox on Sunday. Rams are favored by 3. And the over-under is 43 here. TJ Watt is a problem. He's got 8 sacks through 5 games. Of course, he became Pittsburgh's all-time sack leader in week 2. Steelers' offense is bad. They've been bad all year, but they're coming off the bye. And I got to believe that there's been some hard conversations between Mike Tomlin and Matt Canada. And I got to believe that if Canada's going to keep his job, there's going to be some changes, and they have to put some points on the board. You got Pat Freiermuth coming back. That should help. Deontay Johnson's been activated to practice, so his 21-day window is now open. I got to believe there's going to see some improvement in that Pittsburgh offense. But here's my thing. Allen Robinson, he's only got 17 catches for 137 yards this season. Remember, he was traded from the Rams to the Steelers back in April. they're going to get him involved. It's a revenge game for him, just like DJ Moore going back home to play Washington. I like Allen Robinson to have a big game there. I'm going with Steelers money line, and I saw that at plus 140 earlier this morning. Okay. So Steelers money line in LA over the Rams, which there'll be Steeler fans everywhere in that building.
Why you got to bring up the DJ Moore game?
I just want to see you hurt, Scotty. I just want to see you hurt.
Well, it worked.
And also, it fucked me betting-wise, too. The one time I bet on your Comanches or whatever they are.
So, I knew it was over once I saw you bet on them.
And then to close things out, Sunday Night Football, Miami 5-1 at Philadelphia, 5-1, 8:20 on NBC. Eagles coming off their one loss of the year, loss to the Jets, who finally got their first win ever in franchise history over the Eagles.
That's crazy.
That vaunted Jets-Eagles rivalry, they play so often.
Yeah, but still, both of those franchises have been around for forever.
Yeah,
I figured they would have beat them at some point.
The Jets came in 62 or something like that, whatever, maybe. It was early, but you would figure at some point. But yeah, so good for them. Jalen Hurts coming off a rough game. He's back. He's thrown more interceptions so far this year than he did last year. 3 picks already last week. Lane Johnson left that game in the first quarter with an ankle injury. Don't know what his status is so far right now. Tyreek Hill, legit MVP candidate, leading the league in receiving. And Raheem Mostert just scores touchdowns. Devon Achane, he's out still on IR. Miami just doesn't miss a beat. They keep on going. I like the Dolphins. You give me Miami as an underdog at home with that offense. I took Miami money line plus 115.
All right. I like it.
So that means we're going to lose it then.
Probably.
Because you're probably on the same thing as me.
Not that game. I am. I'll start with the game I have similar with you. I got the Bills minus 8.5. Just fading New England. New England, I feel like this is going to be another rout. The Patriots are just awful, and the Bills had that lackluster performance. It was a Sunday night against the Giants.
Yes, Sunday night.
Yeah, so I don't see them playing like that again. I think they'll get up for the Patriots, and I think they'll look forward to putting it on Bill Belichick. I see them winning by at least 9 points, probably a lot more than that.
It feels weird, but doesn't this feel like a get-right game for the Bills? And it's weird to say that against the Patriots. Yeah. A get-right game.
Well, because they had, was it the first week or first 2 weeks? The first week they didn't play well, and they came back and set the world on fire for a couple weeks. I think just playing the Giants, like it's the Giants' backup quarterback, they had no reason to get up. I mean, even now the Patriots are terrible, but it's the Patriots. It's Bill Belichick. They're going to come in ready to play. I think they're going to get things back on the rolling again. So my second pick here, I'm going to go Green Bay, Denver, under 45. Now, these are not two good defenses at all, but both of these offenses have been struggling. If you take away the first half against the Commanders for the Broncos, the only time either one of these defenses have done anything is against the Bears. So anytime they play a real team, their offenses aren't doing anything. So I think it will be a struggle again for both teams. Give me that under 45. And my last pick here.
That game's ugly.
Yeah. Going Monday night on the last game here. 49ers at Minnesota. I'm fading Kirk Cousins here on Monday night, like everybody should. 49ers minus 6.5. I'm a little worried that Minnesota's coming off a bye and 49ers just lost to the Browns, but I think that was more of just the Browns have a really good defense, and it's just one of them games that was low scoring, and they had the ball at the end and kicked the field goal. And maybe again, anytime a backup quarterback comes in, I think defenses kind of just maybe overlook them or take them for granted. And you can't do that with Cleveland's defense is legit, so. I mean, if you play around with any team with a defense that good, they could get you. So I'm not worried too much about that game. I think the 49ers defense will come in here. They're going to beat up Kirk Cousins. He'll throw a pick or two. They have no Justin Jefferson. He would be the one guy that would have a matchup advantage in this game. And I'm just not seeing Kirk being able to deliver. So 49ers minus 6.5.
I was almost there. I had them on my card, actually, and I deleted it, and I put the Eagles game on there. The reason I took it off, I don't know what Christian McCaffrey's status is. I know he had the oblique. It's kind of like a strain. He should be able to go. But we don't know what Deebo Samuel, what his status is.
Yeah, that run game just obviously McCaffrey is a weapon. He's maybe the best running back in the league, maybe the best weapon in the league as far as running and receiving. But that Eli Mitchell, I think, is coming back. I forget who the other guy, Jordan.
Oh, his last name starts with M. Everyone's picking him up in fantasy.
Jordan Mason.
Mason, yeah, I think it's Mason, Jordan
Okay.
Mason, Javon Mason, Jordan
Yeah.
Mason,
He'll
something
be,
like that.
He'll
Yeah.
be fine. They'll just do some short passes, get Ayuk involved, Kittle.
Kittle had one catch last week
Well, yeah, that's not
for
gonna.
1 yard.
That won't happen again if McCaffrey's not out there. And Kirk's gonna give the ball up.
Yeah,
I
prime
think
time.
the only way they cover is because he loves his garbage time. So if they get down, he might get a late touchdown, but I'm not counting on that.
Kirk Cousins is the king of garbage time stats.
Yeah.
That I've started him in so many fantasy leagues because of that.
Yeah, back with Washington, everybody, look at his numbers. I'm like, watch the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time they get down by like 3 possessions, here he comes.
You can tell who's watching the box score. And
Right.
just looking, yeah. Well, Scotty, for our picks, we should be calling this expert here. Now, I don't have the audio on the board, but I have it on my phone here as I go back to pull it up because it drifted away from me. So I found this from Big Cat, Barstool Sports. He had reshared it. Apparently, this guy has done this before. He's an inmate. I don't know where he's incarcerated. I don't know what his name is, and I don't know what his crime is. So if he did something heinous, well, obviously he's in jail, so he did something bad.
Well, based on the type of bet he's making and the parlay, I have a feeling what he might be in there for.
I'm just saying, some crimes are worse than others. So our show is distancing ourselves from this guy. We're not endorsing his picks, but if he did something horrible, we decry it. If he just cheated on his taxes, okay, that's bad. But but this gentleman, which I didn't know, I guess they have video of the phone calls from jail. I didn't know this. I don't know how that works.
So I know it's a lot different now. Like certain jails, like I know people that have been in there and they have like tablets and stuff. I know they can get computer access. I don't know if it's just like what time of day they can do it or what sites they have access to.
Can you sports bet in jail if you have a tablet? Are you on the Wi-Fi? Is my man on like
I would
FanDuel?
imagine they probably block it because my work blocks it. Anything that has gambling in it at all, they block it. I'm sure it's only certain things they can get on. So they might not even be able to get on like ESPN and all that. I'm not exactly sure.
Maybe he's got a VPN, and he's just like watching.
I don't think so.
Watching Saudi Arabian soccer and placing bets.
I doubt it.
Yeah. Well, I'll play the audio into the phone here. So this guy, I don't know if he's calling a relative to place these bets or if he's calling his bookie collect. I don't know. Maybe he's calling the Cayman Islands offshore account. I don't know who he's putting these bets into, but this was his bets going into last weekend.
Bet 500 on this ticket. Make it a parlay. All right, I got Raiders over Patriots. I got the Jets over Eagles. Bills over New York Giants. Lions over Tampa Bay. Rams over Cardinals. New York Liberty, the basketball team. Yeah, the WNBA. New York Liberty over Las Vegas Aces. Yeah, make all of it a parlay.
So I'm glad I actually played that back because the first time I heard it, I thought he said Ravens over Patriots. Like, oh, he got it wrong. No, he said Raiders. Okay, that makes sense. But so he nailed every pick. And apparently, I guess you looked up the WNBA because I didn't know they were still fucking playing.
No, I just think it's funny that he had to like clarify that.
Yeah. When your bookie goes, what, the who? Is that a soccer team? The what? Yo, my man went, what was that, six picks?
It was 27-1. So if he really put 500 down on it, that's $13,500 he just won.
You think he made bail with that money?
If he's betting $500, he could have made bail. So maybe he did do something bad, and there's no bail.
So if you're on, I don't know what this guy's situation is. Let's say he's doing 25 to life. All right. What was it? California used to have the 3 strikes and you're out. Like you could commit 3 crimes, you go to jail for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say that he's grand larceny. He stole a stereo in 1999. Okay. Let's say he ran from the cops or whatever. At some point, he got questioned. He ran. That's another one. And then let's say he had a bunch of. Can he put you in jail for unpaid parking tickets?
I don't know.
Or maybe, let's say he cheated on his taxes.
Okay.
All right. So he did those 3 things. He didn't kill anyone. I don't know. He might have. But let's say he's doing 25 to life, and you place a $500 bet. You win $13K. What are you going to do with the money? That's a lot of cigarettes in the commissary.
Well, I don't know. He's probably got family on the outside to take care of, or maybe he is getting out at some point.
Now, how does he pay taxes on that? I got no clue. Like, does the government take money out when you're in jail? There's so many questions that I have.
Well, it'd be whoever placed the bet for him.
Oh, well,
So
maybe
I'm sure he
maybe the account's
paid
Disney.
that guy some money or girl.
That's crazy, man. I need this guy to release his picks every week because he's hot right now.
So I think it is like a popular thing that I don't know necessarily getting people to place bets for you, but I have had somebody I know that used to be incarcerated that would call me from time to time and ask me for football picks. And then he would say, if you parlay this, I guess they had a bookie in there, but it would be for like food and shit. Like,
Okay, so like some SpaghettiOs or something, you know what I mean?
yeah, or like ramen or honey buns or whatever else.
I heard honey buns and cigarettes are like the two big currency things.
Yeah.
Okay. I learned this knowledge. So if I ever get locked up, I learned that honey buns and cigarettes, I'm just going to load myself up with these.
Apparently they make wine somehow.
Oh, Pruno. Yeah, I've seen it in the movies. The toilet wine.
Yeah.
Would you drink the toilet wine?
Hell no.
There's no chance.
I don't like wine anyways. So.
There's no chance I'm drinking toilet. Chris would.
I'm pretty sure I feel like you could like kill somebody making it.
What,
like,
toilet wine? Well, I mean, you're taking a dump in the toilet. That's just, listen, I like drinking as much as the next guy. But look,
wait. You like that beer with the people that spit in it. So.
Oh, the chicha?
Sure.
Well, spit that gets boiled off in the brew process is one thing. Shit in the toilet is another. All right? Somebody's taking ramen dumps in that toilet, and now you're making wine out of it. Ramen dumps might be an episode title tonight.
I'm sure they clean the toilet.
Oh, who's cleaning the toilet? The prisoners? The guards? The secretary? The janitors?
I don't know. If you're making wine from it, I'm sure you probably want it pretty clean.
Who cleans a prison toilet? There's so many questions that I have.
Somebody has to.
We need to do Let's Not Do This Scared Straight episode. That's actually the assignment that Ryan's on right now.
Yeah.
He's currently at the Richmond City Jail in Cell Block C right now. He's doing like a lunch and learn like some companies have. So he's got his sandwich, he's got his Pruno, and he's giving out Marlboro Reds to people.
He's holding somebody's pocket.
Yes.
Or somebody might be holding his pocket. I don't know.
Oh, he would definitely have someone holding his pocket. You got a purty mouth, boy.
Jeez. Footage coming next week.
Yeah. If he survives.
Yeah.
If he survives. That's also where Chris is probably on his suspension.
Probably. Yeah.
Oh my God. So as one thing before we go to the non-sports stuff, I did want to hit on this real quick. You see where flag football is coming to the Olympics?
I did see that.
What are your thoughts?
I like it. You can see just how better we're going to be than every other country because I'm sure they won't have any NFL players. And I'm sure we'll probably still dominate. Well,
that's the thing. The NFL, apparently, I saw a thing this afternoon on ESPN where they were saying that, like, it's the top competition, like the Olympics. I think they're going to try to figure it out. And then the issue is when the 2028 Olympics comes, which is when this will be added, it's like late July. So, like, training camps are going then. Uh-huh. So some guys will have to miss camp time. It's kind of like baseball with the World Baseball Classic. But if we can have, like, NFL guys in there, could you imagine Tyreek Hill? Who's going to guard him in 7-on-7 flag football?
Yeah, that wouldn't be fair.
Yeah.
I kind of hope they don't put NFL players in it.
Well, we would lose then.
I don't think so. I think we still win.
I think there's some good international players. We're seeing guys come out of, like Africa now, a lot of the defensive ends, the pass rushers.
Yeah, but those guys wouldn't be able to play.
Oh, because they'd be in the league?
Right, yeah.
Well, what about the fringe talent? Maybe they're like the best guy from Germany. Maybe they didn't make an NFL roster. Maybe he's in the CFL, and we're sending like guys that were playing at Randolph-Macon, like Division III guys.
No, we still got a lot of guys that could play. Get to see some old college stars that didn't make it, maybe.
You see, what's his name? Tony Muskett from Virginia. Yeah, we sent Tony Muskett out there.
He's not going.
Dude, Brennan Armstrong from NC State. We just sent a bad ACC team. NC State's receivers put Brennan Armstrong out there. Maybe Phil Jerkovic from Pitt. They moved to the tight end now. We just put a shitty ACC team out there.
Johnny Football out there.
Oh, my. Well, you got to pass a drug test for the Olympics. Is he clean?
Yeah, I feel like Olympic drug tests have been passed in the past.
That's very true.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, West. What was it? No, East
People have
Germany.
gotten around it. Yeah.
East Germany. Yeah.
Russia.
Yeah. Russia. Yeah. I mean, what they had to compete? What was it? Olympic athletes from Russia or something like that. They had to be so many years with their doping program. You know who I think would be the second best team? Canada.
I was gonna say Canada.
Yeah, and I think Mexico would surprise some people. I watched Mexican college football today while I was working. I didn't know such things existed.
No, I didn't either.
I was watching Fubo TV while I was working, and I was on the BN Sports Extra, and I was looking for a college football game from this past weekend to watch. And before I went through the Iowa game, I landed on UNAM Pumas, like the National University of Mexico.
Okay.
There's one of the big soccer teams there, and I forget who they were playing, but they have a college football team. And I was watching it, and it was in Spanish, and those guys can play a little bit. I think they can beat Virginia.
Oh yeah, of course. So what kind of offense were they running? Were they like throwing the ball?
Yeah, everybody was like, it's like in all football,
like
it's just spread now.
Okay.
You know, motion and stuff like that. They probably could have beat NC State the way we played against Duke on Saturday night.
How about my Hokies though?
Yeah, Virginia Tech actually turned the corner. I had penciled in, I put it in Sharpie, as Seth Davis would do, the win over Virginia Tech. But now, not so much when NC State goes to Blacksburg. So I don't feel real good about my Wolfpack the rest of the way.
Yeah, at least she beat UVA. We got to see that.
Yeah, we got that going for us. That's, yeah. Does Virginia Tech play this week?
Nah, we're off this week.
Okay, off this week. Yeah, Virginia is at North Carolina. That is going to be ugly. And then NC State has the week off as well. Duke and Florida State was almost on my card.
Me too.
16th ranked Blue Devils at
You were
the Fort Knowles.
You were gonna go Duke plus 14, weren't you?
Absolutely not.
No?
I was actually going to take the under in that game. I forget what it was earlier. The under in Duke Florida State was under 49.
Okay. Yeah, Duke plus 14 almost made my card.
I wonder if Riley Leonard's going to be back. They got to do something.
I feel like he is.
Their quarterback was Henry Beelan, completed 4 passes against NC State, and they still won by 21.
Well, that's the thing there. Like, Florida State's rush defense isn't that great. So that's what Duke likes to do. No, he was out there. Riley Leonard was warming up last week. He just couldn't do it. So I feel like he'll be back this week.
Which, by the way, I saw a little bit of Aaron Rodgers on Pat McAfee this afternoon.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be back.
You think so?
He was out on the field throwing before the game on Sunday, and he was walking around without crutches.
I don't know. He's going to come back late in the season or like right before the playoffs, and what is he going to do at that point?
Think about the inspirational boost for that team if they're in a position.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it's going to make much of a difference coming that late into the season.
Well, something that does make a difference is there's a political party in Austria. They're trying to make a difference, Scotti. They are, this is according to the Brussels Signal. Now, I don't know how legitimate the Brussels Signal is of a news organization, but I did see this on a couple other things. This was one of the few sites I could get in English.
Yeah, well, they threw some stats out there, so I mean.
So the beer party in Vienna, or Beer Party, is polling at 12%. It's highest in a score that would make it the third party in the Austrian city. It began as a satirical party, first appearing on the ballots in 2019. Members described themselves as a bureaucratic movement. Quote, in a bureaucracy, power comes from beer, they say. Rights such as freedom of opinion are necessary regarding the free speech of beer variety, and, quote, people with less drinking talent should be given special support. So, Scotty, that's you. They're looking out for you.
Yeah.
You have your 2 beers and you're done. And they're looking out for you. You got to feel good about that. The beer party thinks diversity and individuality in the brewing culture enriches life, and such supports the tolerance of foreign beers. That tolerance does not extend to Russia, however.
Yeah.
So they had, 10% support in the elections in 2020. And they've made demands such as a beer fountain for Vienna, allowing outdoor dining in winter, which I didn't know that was a no-no in Austria. Is there some crazy COVID stuff over there?
Maybe.
Excuse me.
I don't know. This all sounds good to me, though.
And abolishing mandatory closing times for restaurants and bars. Now, this is one thing I can get behind. If you got the staff and you got the customers willing, let's just go all night. Yeah. There's some 24-hour like restaurants and stuff in like places like Vegas. If I want to come in at 4 a.m. and watch a F1 race that's in China or something and drink a beer, why not? I'm dying. I'm sorry.
I think I like that too, but you'd have to find some way to get the people that are just going to get there and just drink. You got to get them out at some point. Otherwise, you're going to have like some alcoholic that just stays there.
Do
It's
you
like shit
impose
faced.
like a limit, perhaps? Maybe like a wristband. You go to the football game. Sometimes they put like 6 little squares on there. You check one off, and then you're out of beers.
Yeah.
Or some bars
To serve yourself.
where you
thing.
serve yourself,
Yeah.
they'll only sell you a certain amount of ounces, and then you have to like re-up. Pretty much, maybe you have to do a sobriety test.
No, I wouldn't go that far. Everybody's going to be drunk.
Maybe you had to do
Maybe a certain amount of beers within a certain amount of hours.
Maybe you do a sobriety test and prove that you have access to an Uber to go home. Or you prepay for your Uber. Maybe the bar has like a preferred program with Uber. And they say, all right, Scotty, you've been here for 6 hours. Your drunk ass is getting the Uber and going home.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I like the idea, but I feel like the alcohol poisoning rate will definitely go up.
These are
But other than that, yeah.
I feel like these people, they can drink. I'm all for this. Do you think this party would fly in America?
Yeah, bring it over. They would do more for me than any other party's done.
So we got Republicans, we got Democrats, Libertarians. Then we had the beer party.
Yeah, the beer party against D's Nuts. Remember that?
These nuts, yeah.
People were voting for D's Nuts.
See, we just created the ultimate political machine. We get the beer party in America, and the rent is too damn high guy. Because the rent is too damn high.
Way too damn high.
We put him together with the beer party guy. We got an unstoppable ticket. You will have the Gen Z. You will have the millennial vote. Now, the boomers, they don't, they're not going to vote for it, but they're not going to be around much longer.
Right.
So I think we have sweeping reform coming to America. Remember those Obama posters with like change and hope? Remember like that? That's what you're doing. You just put beer on there.
I like it.
It's Stella from Austria.
I mean, it's Artois, isn't that French? I don't know. Let's see. I don't think it's gonna say on a can, is it?
I don't. Well, we'll see where it historically is from. I'll look it up real quick. I don't know where Stella Artois is from. How I don't know that? Yeah, it's based in Vienna, Austria.
Oh,
so
okay.
No, never mind. I landed on Stella Rosa Wien. That's I just read one word and kept on going. Stella Rosa Wien is a soccer club apparently. I need to keep reading things. My wife always gets on me. Oh, Belgium. Okay. Yeah. Same difference. They both got taken over by the Nazis.
That might be racist.
Yeah, you said it.
No, they just had bad defenses in World War II. Okay, well, still.
Like USC.
Oh, my God. Worst defense. The Maginot Line in France or USC in 2023?
It's pretty close.
Yeah. Oh, well, I am in full support of the beer party. I think I need to run for office on this. Imagine me as governor of Virginia running on the beer ticket. All right, here's my platform. Bars are open 24/7. No children allowed in bars, period, point blank. I'll make exceptions for if you want to take, your 16-year-old out to dinner or something like that. But if the place serves alcohol, no children at all.
How about they have a kid night? So one night a week.
Nah.
They can bring kids.
Us kidless people, we don't want that. You got Chuck E. Cheese. You got your Applebee's. Go there.
Yeah, but what if you're looking for a single mom? One night a week, kid night. Put it on Tuesday.
You
One
get
night Wednesday.
Tuesday
B-Dubs
afternoon.
does. I think B-Dubs does Wednesday. It's
Child night?
Or it used to be. I don't know if they still do it. But that's also at restaurants. I mean.
Yeah, but if you're like, mine is going to pertain to like breweries, wineries, bars, which we don't have bars in Virginia. You can't just have a bar that just serves booze and no food, So I would allow us to have bars, and in those bars, no children. Now, if you want to take your kid to Applebee's, cool. I'm fine with that. But I will give you the ability to stay open 24/7. My beer party platform, we're also going to sell booze, like hard liquor, in the convenience stores. Shit, in the gas stations. I want you to be able to walk into a gas station and buy a bottle of Blanton's bourbon.
I like that.
Yeah, well, that's what we got going for us there. And also, I am going to get rid of the public alcohol laws. So if you want to walk down, the street in Carytown in Richmond, and you want to drink a 40, More power to you. If you're not hurting anyone, and I'm going to put more trash cans and more recycling bins up, we will clean the streets.
Yeah. In certain areas, yeah.
Yeah.
Downtown, yeah, sure. Why not?
I think it'll go great.
Yeah.
And you know what? And we'll tax the alcohol a little bit more. And that's how we'll pay for some other social programs and recycling and stuff like that. We give you a little bit, but we'll take a little bit. Beer Party platform.
Yeah, sign me up.
I'm the Big O, and I endorse this message. You're coming. I'm coming for you, America. All right.
Whoa.
Some girls heard that before in their life. She got scared. All right. So speaking of scared, you ever been pulled over?
Yeah, of course.
You got a ticket?
Yeah, it's been a while, but I've had probably 3 or 4 speeding tickets.
No, you got a lead foot there, Scotty.
Yeah, only one was on my record though. I got to go to driving school for the rest.
Well, what if you got pulled over like this fine gentleman in Georgia who got a $1.4 million ticket? Connor Cato of Savannah says he got a ticket from the Georgia State Patrol for driving 90 miles an hour in a 55-mile-an-hour zone and was told the fine was not a typo. So he gets a ticket, and it has $1.4 million on there.
It's not a typo.
Yeah, he called about it, and they were told him you can either pay or you can go to court. And I think his court date was like December 21st or something like that. This happened on September 2nd. And apparently in Georgia, they call it a super speeder ticket. I think in Virginia, it's just reckless driving. Like if you're over 80, it's reckless, right?
That, and I think if you're 20 over, either 15 or 20 over, they can call it reckless.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, the lady told him on the phone, $1.4 million. He goes, this might be a typo. No, sir. You either pay the amount on the ticket or you can come to court December 21st at 1:30 p.m. Now, apparently, Savannah City government spokesman Joshua Peacock told USA Today on Monday that Cato's fine was just a placeholder. Yeah. A speeding ticket can only be set by a judge in a court appearance and cannot exceed $1,000 plus state-mandated cost, he said. While Cato still has to appear in court and is considered a super speeder, he will not have to pay the $1.4 million fine. So why the fuck do you put it on the ticket? You just scaring the shit out of someone? You hope
to make them come to court, I guess.
What do you hope? Like Ronald Acuna Jr. gets pulled over and he just says, "Fuck it, yeah. I'm going to pay the $1.4 million."
Yeah. Oh God, I was about to make a Henry Ruggs joke, but I won't.
Oh God.
So it's like a placeholder, like when Wayfair, the people thought they were selling kids. You remember that?
No.
The furniture place.
No.
So they would have like these. Was it furniture they were selling? It was something they were selling.
I think Wayfair sells furniture, yeah.
Yeah, and it would be just like a simple like couch or something, and it would be like thousands of dollars, and then people were accusing them of like child trafficking. Like I guess they thought you would go in there and you would buy it and you would like get a kid or something.
Oh, so is it like when you go to DC?
Pretty sure it wasn't true, but
and like the places will sell you a $50 cookie, but they give you free weed or something like that, you know? It's how you get around the
never done that, but yeah.
I haven't either, but you know.
Well, no, I would assume that if you tried to buy one, they'd be like, "Hey, you can't buy this. Like this is just a placeholder or whatever. It's not for sale yet." Gotcha. But yeah, it was like a whole conspiracy thing a couple of years ago. People thought Wayfair was like sex trafficking.
Jesus Christ.
just off their website.
Messed up people there. Well, this reminds me of there was a guy, Anders Wilkoff, who was in Finland. He's a Finnish businessman. And he got hit with a $121,000 euro ticket earlier this year. Now, 121,000 euros. I looked at this up earlier. I forget how much that averaged out to be American. Looks like that was just over almost $128,000. So apparently what Finland does, they have a thing where they tie the ticket in with your income. They calculate a percentage of the offender's income. And I guess this guy was quite wealthy, and he ended up with a ticket for almost $128,000 American.
That's insane.
New York City earlier this year had proposed something similar, where like parking tickets and other fines and violations, instead of having like a set amount, those would be proportionate to your income. And I think they were trying to make essentially rich people pay more and the poor people pay less.
Yeah, but there's got to be a limit to that.
Where you get like so let's say like Bill Gates goes to New York and he gets like a parking ticket. And like Bill Gates ends up with like a $3 million parking ticket.
Yeah, no.
What if you're homeless?
I mean, it wouldn't hurt him at all. Well, if you're homeless, then I guess you
Yeah, like what if you're
Well,
destitute?
what are you doing getting a parking ticket if you're homeless?
He's living in. Maybe someone's living in the car.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, well, then I guess you wouldn't have to pay anything.
Yeah. Do you just pay nothing? Like, do you?
In which case, what's a parking ticket? Like,
yeah, the world is your parking ticket at that point.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Would you vote for income based tickets?
To an extent, there have to be some type of cap on it.
I would love it. Could you imagine what TMZ would do with this shit? It's like, oh, Alex Rodriguez.
None of them guys are drive anymore.
Well, that's true. What happens if someone gets pulled over? If your driver gets pulled over,
Then it would be on the driver. I would assume.
but it's your car. But I guess
Yeah, the driver gets a ticket.
yeah, the driver
sure,
does
yeah.
get the ticket. But given that situation, do the courts go back and look at who owns it and give it to that person?
I don't think so.
Or maybe they
I think
make a
it's on the driver.
special rules adjustment if you're going income based. Because if you're a driver, if I'm driving A-Rod around, I'm not loaded. I'm probably doing pretty well, but I'm not like loaded. You would rather give A-Rod the ticket.
Yeah, he's a douchebag anyway, so yeah, definitely give him the ticket. He should get my tickets anyways.
You should just change your name to Alex Rodriguez and just rack up a bunch of speeding tickets. Just all over New York and Miami and yeah, wherever else he hangs out.
Yeah, like $5 million in tickets.
Yeah. What do you think you do, like, if you look and you have, like, $5 million in parking tickets? Like, what's the most amount of parking tickets you think someone could get before, like, they really start coming after you?
I mean, do they come after you?
I'd imagine there's a certain point the government wants their money. Like, they're going to put a boot on your car or suspend your license. Or there was an episode of Seinfeld where Newman was the scofflaw, the parking scofflaw. He was like the white whale. He was like this parking guy's Moby Dick. And Kramer, like, interfered with Newman finally getting busted. He ended up finally getting caught, and he had like tickets from like 20 years ago that he had to pay off and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever had a parking ticket.
Well, I know I haven't.
Yeah, I know you haven't either.
Speaking of driving, you sent a story over this afternoon. What the hell happened to T.O.?
So I guess he was playing a game of pickup basketball, and being the asshole that he is, I guess he was talking too much shit, and somehow or another, a guy ended up hitting him with his car.
I'm sorry, what?
That's the most T.O. story I think I've ever heard. Let me pull up the story here.
What type of car was it? An SUV?
I said he
a Prius?
didn't need any medical attention. So let's see.
You know who this reminds me?
Following the game, the man who had been beefing with T.O. got into a car and drove the vehicle right into his knee. How do you only hit somebody's knee is another thing. It doesn't say what kind of car it was.
Was it the targeted attack? Was he going to make sure that he doesn't go to what's the new league, the XFL and the USFL, the UFL? Was going to make sure he wasn't going to come back there. I'm going to take out your
maybe.
knee. Yeah,
I don't know. I could totally see Terrell Owens doing something to make somebody do that though.
it gave me bad Lawrence Phillips vibes. Remember him?
Yeah,
Running back from Nebraska, played with the Rams. Sadly, I think he killed himself in jail a few years ago, didn't he?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but he was after he was out of the league, I think he was doing like a pickup football game in the park. I want to say with some teenagers, and he got in an argument with them, and that's one of the things he went to jail for. He allegedly tried to run them over with a car after a pickup football game.
Jeez.
What's the maddest you've ever seen someone get from a pickup game? What's the maddest you've gotten from a pickup game?
I mean, I've almost gotten into a couple fights. People trying to fight me because they would start talking, and then I would hit a couple shots to talk back. But and I don't look like the type of guy that would be good at basketball, so people really get mad at that. I think so. We were playing in my neighborhood one day, just off the top of my head, and it was this really tall, skinny guy, a friend of mine, and this short, fat kid was playing who was not good at basketball. But for whatever,
was it Chris?
No.
Okay.
Different race.
That might be racist.
For some reason, this kid, I guess he was just having a day of his life, but he was just like killing the tall guy. And the tall guy got so pissed off and threatened to fight him. And the guy, they're going back and forth a little bit. And I guess he got pissed off enough. The tall guy, he was like, if you say one more word, I'm going to punch you in your mouth. He's like, turn around and go home. Don't even look at me. Don't say another word. And so the guy did. He turned around, didn't say another word. I guess he got scared, walked home.
It's like the 49ers-Browns fight when Trent Williams showed up before the game Sunday. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw a little clip of it. As soon as I saw there was a skirmish, I'm like, I know Trent Williams is in it.
Yeah, they were skirmishing, and then Trent literally walks up
Yeah.
like Dalton from Roadhouse, and everyone just scurries.
That's who he is, basically.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been in a pickup altercation.
I've seen several.
I got thrown out. You know what? The last soccer game I ever played in high school, and it wasn't even pickup. It was like a varsity soccer game. I made a save. I got tangled up with another kid. I was a goalie. This was many beers and chicken wings ago. And I made a save, got tangled up with another kid. And apparently as I put the ball back in play and was walking away, apparently he took a swing at me. I don't know. I didn't see it. I turned my back to him after I put the ball in the play. And I heard, "Get the fuck off our keeper." And I look, and my defender got this guy on the ground, and he's just beating the hell out of him. So both benches empty, and I'm trying to pull people apart. And I got a red card. I didn't do anything.
You can't pull guys off the piles like the NFL before they made that rule.
Yeah, the guy that got his ass whooped got a red, and then I got a red, and that was the last game I ever played of competitive sports.
Yeah, I've seen several almost fights. Actually, I did see a fight. It was at elementary school, like at recess.
Yeah,
kids got to fighting. Yeah, it's happened often.
I bet you that if Ryan wasn't on assignment tonight, this would be the perfect topic for him. Yeah. I bet you he's take off his shirt and wants to fight pickup basketball guy.
Yeah,
I can totally see that.
Yeah. So, actually, the year I went to Tech, I was playing basketball with some friends, and the team manager for Virginia Tech that year was playing with us, and one of my friends almost got in a fight with him.
For Tech basketball?
Yeah. Because he was just a shooter. He wasn't that good, but he could shoot.
He was a chucker. Okay.
Yeah, and I think one of my friends was probably getting the best of him, and they almost got into it.
You ever seen "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker"? No, not "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker." White Men Can't Jump.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite
movies.
Yeah, remember the old one, not the new one.
There's a new White Men Can't Jump?
I haven't seen it yet, but it's got, what's the white rapper's name?
You think I know a white rapper?
Jack Harlow and some other guy.
Jack Harlow and you know what?
That might be racist.
Jack Harlow and some other guy. Was the black guy some other guy?
I mean, maybe. No, he wasn't a well-known. Well, hold on.
I didn't know they were making another one. But remember when he goes to the boot, they go get his gun, whatever, and everyone scurries off the court. Yeah. That's what I always think about with pickup basketball. It's got to be one of the most dangerous things that you can do.
That's a true story. Well, that scene's based off a true story.
I'm sure it happens every day at some pickup game somewhere across the country. Yeah, I would never, if I was in better shape and I was younger, I would still never play pickup. Even when I was younger, I played pickup basketball with guys I knew. I would never play with random people because that's the quickest way to get into a fight.
I always knew at least one person I was playing. Yeah.
They should, you know what? We should have a boxing ring next to basketball courts and literally a hard foul. You just sell it there. You just pick up the gloves and you just go.
Is it Ball Don't Lie? One of these pages where they go and they travel and play pickup ball. They have a thing where if guys get into it, they'll actually, if they both agree, they'll put on boxing gloves and they'll just fight in the middle of the court.
That's what we need more of in America. It's you cut in front of me at Subway.
Or Ball is Life, I think.
Ball is Life? Yeah. Okay, I think I've heard of them. Yeah. You cut the line for me at Subway. We argue a little bit. Someone just ding, rings a bell. Danny DeVito walks out. I don't know why it's got to be Danny DeVito, but someone short and fat like him walks out, gives you gloves, you just get it on. You know what? Fuck you. He's with Jersey Mike's, so maybe Jersey Mike's. You get in a brawl at Jersey Mike's, you get boxing gloves, you figure it out right there.
Yeah, I like it.
We need more of that in America. Dog eat dog mentality.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, and that's probably why Ryan's not here right now. His nose was probably broken in one of those altercations. You had one more story you wanted to get to before we got out of here, too, and I totally forgot what it was.
Oh, yeah, so we have another man punching a kangaroo to save his dog story.
That's very true, yes. In down under in Australia. Kangaroos are vicious mothers, man.
Yeah, so this one, I'll find it. The dog was in the water. I don't know if it was a beach or something, I guess, or a lake or something.
It looked like some sort of pond.
Okay.
Or it didn't look big enough to be a lake. I don't know the difference between lake and pond, but I wouldn't call this a lake.
Yeah, the story says the kangaroo was trying to drown the dog. Maybe he was, but he was just holding on to him, trying to make a friend, it looked like to me. But I guess the dog was freaking out. Maybe he was dunking him under. I don't know. So the guy walks up to the kangaroo. Kangaroo's just looking at him. And the guy's in his Australian accent. Was it Australia?
Yeah, it was Australia.
He's like, I'm going to punch your fucking head off or something like that.
I might.
Of course, the kangaroo can't understand Australian or English. So he's just looking at him. And the guy punches him. And then the kangaroo actually, so last year, the last time it went viral, the kangaroo got punched and he kind of just stood there. This one actually kind of like went at him, and I think he scratched his arm up pretty good because you see the guy like kind of back up and like the phone. I don't know if he dropped it, but it kind of goes out of focus and you can't see what's going on. But yeah, and then he goes back up and the kangaroo is just sitting there looking at him and he splashes him. Like
Everyone thinks kangaroos are so cute, man. Like they'll fuck you up.
you seen them? You see what they look like?
Yeah, they're massive.
Yeah.
They're, like, remember that one that was in New Jersey, like a zoo or something, that was like all buff and
Yeah.
cut a couple years ago? Like it looked like, Mr. T or something like back in the day. But I worked with a girl that was from Australia, and she told me like this very story. Not what happened to this guy, but I mean something very similar. Where like a kangaroo took her neighbor's dog and took it out to a pond and drowned the fucking thing. Kangaroos are vicious murderers,
So
man.
you think they're really trying to drown it, or are they just playing with it and they don't understand that they can't do that?
I think that they're like, who's gonna fuck with us? Like, human, you want to catch these hands, and I think they're just evil creatures, and for whatever
So you
reason,
really think he's like, I'm taking his dog and I'm gonna drown him?
Yeah,
Or
I
is he
think-
just taking him to like take him to the water and play with him?
and you don't think he knows his strength. No, I think these kangaroos are murderers, and I think we really need to do something about it. Didn't the Australian government
Well,
launch a war against kangaroos and lose?
I don't know. It sounds like a Family Guy.
No, I'm being. You know what? I'll let you talk for look that up while I'm going to look that up here for
Okay.
a second while you.
But my thing
talk
is
about that.
with the dog owner, like there's kangaroos out there. Why are you just letting your dog run around?
Well, I feel like it's Australia. I mean, like everything can kill you. You gotta let
Okay,
your
and then keep your dog on a leash.
you gotta let your dog go outside at some point. I mean, there's like spiders and snakes and like I feel like the rain can kill you in Australia. Like anything can kill you. You step on like a spider or something, that thing kills you. Like
Yeah.
okay, so it was the Emu War. Apparently, in 1932, to address a public concern over emus that were destroying crops in the Campione district of the wheat belt of Western Australia, the government unsuccessfully attempted to curb the population of emus, which is, by the way, a large flightless bird indigenous to Australia, if you didn't know, leading the media to adopt the name Emu War when referring to the incident. While a number of the birds were killed, the emu population persisted and continued to cause crop destruction. This went on from November 2nd to December 10th, 1932. And the Royal Australian Artillery went out there. The outcome was a minimal impact on the overall emu population. 986 emus were killed, 2,500 emus wounded.
The planet of the emus. The hell?
So the
I get it,
Australian
though.
government could not defeat emus in a war.
And that's crazy because is there a dumber looking animal than an emu?
I gotta go ostrich.
I don't know, man. Just look at an emu's face. Just pull up emu and just look at his face.
Are they related to ostriches?
Maybe.
Well, here's a dead emu here that some farmers holding up from that great Australian
Jeez.
emu war here.
Yeah, I think emus look dumber.
Can you eat emu?
You can eat anything. Let's see.
Oh, I mean, in theory, yes. Would you eat an emu burger?
Emu meat is an excellent alternative for health-conscious consumers who love the taste of beef.
There is a shop in the Strip District of Pittsburgh that sells all sort of exotic meats, and I know I've seen kangaroo in there and like rattlesnake and like all kinds of stuff like that. I don't know if I've seen emu, but if I bought you emu, would you eat it? If I made you an emu burger,
Sure, why not?
a little lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise.
As long as you're sure you know how to make it healthy, or not healthy, but
It's true. Do you
safely.
cook an emu all the way through? Is there some pink? Is it because it's a bird? Do you cook it well done? I don't know.
Oh, never mind. Why is emu meat so expensive? So yeah, I guess we're out on that.
Because you got to kill a fucking emu. They're not just like walking around here. No, if you go to Australia, apparently to Western Australia, you may be able to get
You
one.
got to pay for it to be inspected.
Well, I'm not really worried about your health, so I don't need to have it
Well,
inspected.
in order to get it, unless you go kill an emu yourself.
Well, we would be like that lady that was trying to bring back the giraffe shit from Kenya. We get stopped at customs with a bag full of like dead emu.
Yeah, but no, they look really stupid.
Well, we look stupid, and we're at the hour and 15-minute mark of this podcast here. So I guess we'll go ahead and put a bow on these things. Where can we find this monstrosity online?
on the socials. Let's Not Do This podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and _ Let's Not Do This on Twitter. And please subscribe to the YouTube.
Thank you, sir. And if we learned anything today, kangaroos are killers, and Australia lost a war to emus. We out.